We're still in the middle of the battle for Paris. It's a very determined assault here by the Spanish forces. Various numbers of troops have managed to get inside the fort. I've had to mount up some of my dragoons to rush them and drag in some infantry back into the centre of the fort. I'm running them across the gateways to prevent the cavalry from rushing in at the same time, because, as you know, we've not been able to, on this occasion, get any chevaux de frise to resist any cavalry attacks. Unfortunately, it's highly likely the cavalry will get in. This game is on a 20-minute restriction, but he does have artillery battering away at the walls, so it is highly likely that the cavalry will get in, and he's got quite a lot of it there as well. Hopefully, with him pouring over the walls on the very side where his artillery is battering, he'll do some damage to his own troops, or perhaps maybe call off the artillery a bit, which I severely doubt, but call them off while he attacks or assaults. On this side here, this is where I put my dragoons, and you can see his troops have gone all the way around the back there of the fortress, and they've been attacking from that side as well. I'm still defending along there on various parts with my dragoons, and some of my dragoons are being quite obstinate. I don't seem to be able to get these to mount up. You see those on the steps there, or on that ramp? I'm trying to get those on the horses so that they can do some damage to the enemy infantry when they come down those steps. It's been a bit of a struggle getting them to do that. You see that little Spanish flag there over the gateway? That means that he is open now, or rather the gate's open for his infantry and indeed his cavalry to pour through, which you can see that he is doing. I wanted to mount these dragoons so that I could charge into the side of them when they came through. Unfortunately, they're just not going to play. I'm pulling all the infantry in I can now into the centre so that I can resist his attacks there. Start lining up this infantry here into some decent musketry formation so that we can give him some fire on his way in, and then we can charge him with what dragoons we've got and the horse and the general's bodyguard, which you can see are still there. Still got some. I've got those dragoons there. You've managed to get those two mounted, as you can see. We're still fighting on the walls in various places wherever we can with our grenadiers. The situation is not hopeless by any means. We're over halfway through the battle now. He still hasn't blown up the walls yet, so his cavalry aren't pouring through at the same time. We can form square with this infantry that we have, of course. Here he comes. Some of them with my grenadiers in hot pursuit as well. Just turn them around a little so that we can get a better angled shot on them. Looks like they've turned away and started to head towards my troops there in that back corner. That's not very good. I really thought he was going to advance directly towards the centre where we'd been able to fire at him and then perhaps charge him. He's coming in at the back as well, as you can see. Come on, come towards us. He's not going to play, is he? So then we're just going to have to send the dragoons in after him. Now's the point to form square. I think he's coming in from both sides at once. Get the cavalry off to the side so that I can charge him in the flank to the sides there. Or the line infantry to give some supporting fire for my square in the centre. These very large fortresses, I've never choose to build them. The French had built it by the time I got in there. I don't know if you can remember way back in the early days of when I started the campaign, the fort that I captured in France was a small fort. and it got upgraded to a larger one like this. And extremely difficult to defend because there are so many areas that the enemy can attack you in and get over the walls, and of course it's a larger area inside, so it's more difficult for you to get back into the centre to defend as well. So I really wouldn't choose to have fortresses this size unless I've got a lot of infantry to defend them. There he goes, pouring in towards the centre. Here comes his horse. We're in the wonderful square formation, which is going to help us. Notice the little flag hasn't come on, the top right, with a time on it. That's because we are occupying that centre spot. He isn't. He has to occupy that centre spot. You at least have to have troops on it, non-routing troops on it. I'm still struggling to get my dragoons mounted up. The ones I have got, I'm going to charge them into his flanks of his infantry. Because what I don't want is his infantry to be able to attack my square, particularly with fire. I'm just going to pile into the side of those. He's exposed the flank. Looks like he's going to get really close and then fire into that square formation. I'm just going to go and attack him straight in the flank. I'm firing at him from one flank as well. The square has fired at him. So we're getting him from 3 angles at once, that infantry. And here go my dragoons as well, in the rear. So we're getting that infantry at 4 sides at once, really. And his cavalry look as though they're expending themselves on my square. There's just over a quarter of the battle left. With it being a 20-minute battle, that means there's probably about 6 minutes left, is there? So not too long for him to be able to get into the centre. His cavalry are failing. You can see that they're flashing on their flags, which means that they're either wavering or completely routing. They've wasted themselves on my square. I've just looked round the fortress there and I can't see any sort of particularly good infantry. I can see some there. See how they come right through those dragoons that were on that ramp that I couldn't get to mount. Through the horse that were just standing there, of course, no men on them. These are all my dragoons now, sorry, pouring in against that what he's got left of that cavalry. See, it's all quite disordered. I've got some infantry there against the wall. So we really are getting the better of the action now. It was looking a bit dodgy for a moment there, with him coming from both sides at once and us not having an adequate number of troops there in the middle. Well, the good news is it's timed, which means that those guns on the outside there will just be defeated at the end of this. There's going to be no sort of waiting for half an hour for to catch up with his guns and try and outflank him and everything afterwards. Okay, it looks to me as though everything is in retreat at the moment. I can't really see anything of his that's still properly formed. Nothing at all. So I think it can only be the guns that are waiting now. And of course, like I said to you before, I'm not going to. That's just a gateway, by the way, that's held. I'm not going to sit here waiting for the guns to attack me. I'm just going to wait out the remaining 5 minutes or so of the battle, so the 20 minutes will go and then we'll have defeated him. Then what we'll do is replenish our troops, get the dragoons and the grenadiers together and chase him out of France eventually, once we've replenished them, of course. Might be a little more of this battle to show on the following video. It's a turn end thing, so this is them attacking us at the turn end. Oh, here's another load coming in here. What is that rubbish? Not worth worrying about, I don't think. But anyhow, I might just show just the tail end of this battle, just the finish, and show you the result, and then we can finish the rest of the turn end and you can see what all the other nations are doing, or the relevant ones anyway.